I know that protein is very, very important for ADHD brains, everyone's brain, but specifically
Yeah.
for the executive function and the pieces that we struggle with. Is there anything that we can consume, either vitamins or food, that could counteract some of that ARFID, that, like, avoidant or restrictive food intake, or some of that delayed eating type of thing, just to eat throughout the day that even if you don't want to?
I feel like the most important thing is intuitive eating, but also not at the same time.
You said
So
the buzzword. You said the buzzword. For those of the listeners who don't know what intuitive eating is, could you briefly explain it?
intuitive eating is the act of listening to your body and understanding what is it asking me and honoring those cravings while at the same time understanding if those cravings are good, like the cravings that you actually want to honor or not.
And for people with ADHD who have low proprioception and might not know what their body is
Right.
needing or feeling, like, how does that work?
Yeah. And like that's where the honoring your body, but also treating it like a toddler. Like the best example would be say you know you need to eat. But your intuitive eating thing is saying, if you're not hungry, you don't have to eat. But then you're like, wait, I've not eaten for 12 hours. It doesn't matter if I'm not hungry. Honoring my body means eating now.
Okay.
And honoring your body even more is eating 3 times a day, even if you don't really feel like it, even if it's just a small amount of food. Because at the end of the day, it is going to improve our executive functioning because we exist with food.
I have a strong belief in something I call ACS. Always carry snacks. Just like a toddler, like
Hmm.
you keep snacks in your purse for a toddler, I keep snacks in my purse for myself. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how often are you out and about and you lose track of time and then you get like slight signs for especially if you're on medication, if you get slight signs of hunger, it usually means that you're way past the point of hunger.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is exactly the other thing. Like, learning how to understand your body's signals is so hard with ADHD, especially for those who tend to be more on, like, that ADHD side.
Mhm.
I for some reason, or the inattentive ADHD that is also more pronounced for some reason, because more likely we're just in our heads more. Figuring out when you are feeling hungry, that doesn't mean you're hungry, that means you're starving.
Yeah.
So what are those other cues that you can learn? And honestly, for myself, I have none. My cue is that I have to eat between 8 and 9 AM, between 11 and 2 PM, and between 5 and 8 PM.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I will get hungry.
We talked a little bit about like the importance of protein, but what does that look like? Like we can talk about numbers, we can talk about, scientifically what it should be, but for someone who doesn't know, what does the high protein meal that will support the ADHD brain look like first thing in the morning?
So for me personally, I swap out a few different types of protein breakfast. My 2 options are an egg type of morning breakfast thing and then a smoothie type. So I find both of those really helpful. So I make an egg bake, uh, and it lasts me the whole week because then I can just, like, cut it into little servings, throw it in the microwave. I protein in the morning. That is super great because you can also add a lot of vegetables, a lot of all of those other things that are good for us. Resistant starches through hash browns. Those are really good. And then the other one, like I said, was a smoothie. I rotate a few different smoothies. Usually it is either a fruit-based smoothie or a chocolate peanut butter-based smoothie. But either way, they both have a lot of Greek yogurt because that has a lot of good protein. And I don't like Greek yogurt other ways. I think it tastes gross. But in smoothies, I tolerate it.
It's really honest. I like that one way, but no other way.
The Canadian hack to this is to add maple syrup.
Oh,
Okay, that's valid. I also add maple syrup to all of my smoothies because it just tastes amazing. But
It's
it has
better
to be,
than
like,
none.
the real maple syrup.
yes.
Hey, yes, as a Canadian, I highly advocate real maple syrup and not fricking corn syrup.
In my world, there is a fifth food group. It is called the mobile food group. Anything I can keep in one hand and continue doing with the other is always a boon. I like to keep things like jerky on like in my
Yep.
pantry that I can grab and take with me. And
Banana,
yes, goes in my purse.
pepperoni sticks, little Baby Bell cheeses or Balderson's cheeses you can get at Costco. But we were speaking about toddlers earlier. They have, like applesauce pouches
Well,
with
like a
the
little yogurt, but
resealable lid. Oh, Speaking of the yogurt tubes, I only eat those frozen, like Freezy Pops.
It's though a way for you to get some protein in your day.
Exactly.
I'm a vegan, so talk about vegetable proteins, but I like to eat things that are like dinner or lunch like for breakfast.
Mm.
So
How very German of you.
I know, thank you. I like anything lentil based, and I can eat that any time of day.
You sound like my mother-in-law. I love that.